Well, good morning and welcome to 90 Days of Affirmations with me, Lucille. And today is day 41 of 90 days, and I have 3 affirmations for you today. Of course, I always start with our anchor affirmation. For this week, it is, I hold space for both my joy and my pain. Both have shaped me. Number 2, I practice self-discipline to experience fully the blessings of God. And number 3, I embrace divine transformation, trusting that each challenge and blessing refines me into a more radiant expression of God. So, looking at these affirmations for this week, as I continue to allow the first affirmation, our anchor affirmation, rest in my spirit throughout the week, I continue to think on different talking points that make it relevant so that I can really get it in my spirit and remember it, right? Because that's the whole point of doing affirmations. You want to continually repeat them and call on them when you feel, challenged, all right? And so understanding that I hold space for both my joy and my pain, you want to think of it like have your arms open and you're welcoming both your joy and your pain and allowing grace for yourself to experience both highs and lows of your journey, right? And as I continue to think on that, I continue to think on, well, how is my journey a reflection of God's grace and blessings in me, right? And it's called to mind a story. I'm not sure if you might know it. I'm not sure where I heard it from, but there was a group of women that were holding a Bible study, right? And there was a lady that wanted to understand, God's love for us. And there was a point where she took the refinement process and she went to a silversmith. And this silversmith took the silver and placed it in the hottest part of the flame, right? And it was heating up and it was glowing. And for a moment, she was struck by that has to be incredibly painful, right? You're in the center of the fire, right? And then she asked the silversmith, well, how do you know when the silver is done? And the silversmith said, when I can see my reflection in it. Isn't that amazing? I take that story and personalize it, because to me that means that whatever struggles or pain or trials that I may face, it is just God's way of molding me into a reflection of Him. So that when others see me, they not only see me, but they also see God in me, right? So that is a way that you understand that there's going to be duality when it comes to how you experience your joy and pain. And pain doesn't always have to have a negative connotation because of this refinement, right? And it brings to light a challenge that I have faced several times in my position. I have trained a colleague of mine, and we both got frustrated at one point in time. And we were having a bit of communication issues, and maybe she wasn't understanding it. I was probably not explaining it the best way. And eventually we kept working that thing out. And now she is the subject matter expert. She has taken on that role, and now she has blossomed and she's happy in her role. And I'm happy too, because now I won't have to do that anymore. But just remember that your journey is going to have ups and downs, and that you need to embrace all sides of it. All right, stepping into number 2, I practice self-discipline to experience fully the blessings of God. This is my Bible-based affirmation today, and it is coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27 of the New Living Translation of the Bible. And it reads, I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should, Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. And so what I took from this was basically like, I have to, one, keep my body in shape, right? Because I can't, say, "Ooh, God is good," and I'm not even taking care of my vessel, right? The quickest way to destroy something is to do nothing, right? That's what atrophy is. That's what deterioration is, right? That's why it's so important for us to be disciplined, right? And take care of our bodies. This also brought to mind that if I want to really experience the full blessings of God, that means not only am I disciplined in my body, my mind, and my thoughts, but I'm also disciplined at how I manage my time and how I am taking care of the things that God has blessed me with. And you ever feel like maybe you don't like your home so much because it's always something going on, it's always messy, it's always dirty, and you can't really experience the full gift that God has given you with your home? Be disciplined, take care of it. And so that way, when you re-enter the space and you see how peaceful and clean it is, that you fully embrace the blessing that God has given you. And lastly, I embrace divine transformation, trusting that each challenge and blessing refines me into a more radiant expression of God's love. I feel like this last affirmation can't be any more relevant than right now. Many people are dealing with that government shutdown, and we're quick to say, well, who moved my cheese? Why is there so much change happening, right? But I want us to realize that we have to embrace change. We have to embrace transformation, because every challenge that we face and every blessing that we receive is going to cause us to be molded in a better way, right? Everything that you go through can be a testimony to someone else. And I think ultimately our lives should be such that we can be examples for others to follow. And who wouldn't want to follow a leader that has gone through the challenges that you may face? You know what I mean? So let's go through those really quickly. Number 1, let me hear you say them after me. I hold space for both my joy and my pain. Both have shaped me. Number 2, I practice self-discipline to experience fully the blessings of God. And lastly, I embrace divine transformation, trusting that each challenge and blessing refines me into a more radiant expression of God's love. That's right. You got it right. You sound amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that these affirmations have been a blessing to you. And as always, if you love this content, be sure to click like and subscribe. And hey, if you want to hear when I come out with these every time, make sure you click the notification bell. But that's all I have for you. Y'all be blessed.